From Cain Velasquez's fury that gave him the upper hand over legends like Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira, to Wanderlei Silva's being a beast at 250 pounds. Here are the most intimidating fighters in UFC history. Let's start with Alistair Overeem. This dude is a serious force to be reckoned with. He's not just a killer in the MMA ring, but in all kinds of combat sports. I'm talking about Strikeforce, Dream, and K1 championships, baby. Plus, he's the first fighter to hold world titles in MMA and K1 kickboxing at the same time. What a
I'm also a K1 champion, and I've been taking hits to my body like forever. So hits to my body don't do anything.
Now, this guy's been in the game since '99, but it wasn't until 2011 that he stepped into the UFC and knocked out one of the most overrated fighters of all time, Brock Lesnar. No wonder both he and Lesnar made the list of the most intimidating MMA fighters ever. Oh, and get this, he used to be a middleweight, but he beefed up big time with some banned substances and a killer diet. He got busted for it in 2012. But hey, no pain, no gain, am I right? After serving his suspension, he moved up to the heavyweight division and went on a 12-win streak. Unstoppable! He's got a crazy chiseled physique that looks like it was sculpted by a mad scientist. He's taken down 5 former UFC champions, but still hasn't claimed a title for himself. Regardless, he's definitely one of the scariest fighters out there right now. Next up is another fighter that makes his opponents want to watch their backs. It's Chuck Liddell. Alright folks, we're talking about a straight up icon in the MMA game, Chuck Liddell. This guy's name is legendary. Seasoned fans know exactly what I'm talking about. He was the former UFC light heavyweight champion and basically put MMA on the map. I mean, come on, who could forget that signature mohawk and cool, calm demeanor? And don't even get me started on his devastating striking and lightning fast reflexes. This guy was a machine at 205 pounds. In fact, he was so darn good that he got flown all the way to Japan to take on the best fighters outside of the UFC in Pride Fighting Championships. That's how much of a he was. Now, he may not have been successful in Japan, but it was his continued dominance in the UFC that really made him a legend. This guy had some historic fights against the likes of Randy Couture and Tito Ortiz, and his name will forever be etched in history. Another pioneer in the game is this next one. Of course, it's Cain Velasquez.
Oh, look at that!
When it comes to this guy, Cain Velasquez, you don't want to make direct eye contact. Trust me, it's the quickest way to lose your soul or something. This dude is a force to be reckoned with. He's got a special brand of fury that's colder than the winter winds up north. And let me tell you, it takes some serious effort to get him to crack a smile or break out of that intense stare. But when he does, watch out. Here's the thing though, what's really scary about Velasquez isn't his tattoos or his muscles. It's the fact that he'll deliver you to your maker with the same level of interest as you tossing your wet towels into the dryer. Like, no big deal. For him, breaking his opponent's will to live is just another day on the job. Yikes! He is a beast in the wrestling department, that is for sure. But get this, he's also got some great technical striking skills to boot. I mean, we're talking wins over some big names like Pride legend Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira and Lesnar. And get this, it's not just about his offensive moves. This guy is a defensive wizard as well. He's like a ninja in the ring, dodging and weaving with ease. You can throw all kinds of punches and kicks his way, but good luck landing any of them on this guy. Though another star known for his punches and intimidating nature is, of course, Wanderlei Silva. Now let's talk about the legend of the one and only Wanderlei. This dude was an absolute beast in his prime. He had a wild and unpredictable fighting style that made him one of the most exciting fighters to watch. And don't even get me started on his ground and pound skills. The guy was an absolute monster in that department. Back in the day, he was the king of Pride, and with good reason. He took on all comers and destroyed pretty much everyone in his path. Sure, he had a few losses to guys like Arona, Crocop, and Mark Hunt, but who hasn't had a rough day at the office, right? And let's not forget that Wanderlei was a beast at 205 pounds. He made other martial artists in that weight class look like amateurs. But he didn't stop there. He even moved up to the heavyweight division division to take on guys like Mark Hunt, who weighed in at a whopping 250 pounds. And you know what? He held his own and put on a great show. In fact, there's even footage of Wanderlei sparring with UFC heavyweight champ Fabrizio Verdun and getting the better of him in exchanges. But this next guy is no less. I'm talking about Francis Ngannou.
In Paris as they bring in guys.
Ngannou knocks Arlovsky down. That is it. The Predator Francis Ngannou.
Picture this, a hulking figure at 6'4" and 260 pounds, with the kind of athleticism that could make him a star in any sport. But instead, Francis Ngannou decided to take his talents to the octagon, and boy are we grateful for that. Not only is he a giant among giants in the heavyweight division, but he's also got some serious speed and explosiveness. With that kind of combination, he can knock you out with a punch that will send you flying to the moon. Ngannou's punches are so powerful, they've created a collection of highlight reel knockouts that could be used as a tutorial for how to deliver a knockout blow. But there is more to him than just his striking. In one fight against Cyril Gane, he decided to mix things up and showcase his grappling skills. And what a display it was! He managed to take down his opponent, who had never been taken down before, by lifting him like a sack of potatoes and tossing him to the ground. It was like watching a superhero in action. And how can I forget this next superhero, Khamzat Chimaev? This guy is like a wrecking ball in the octagon. He's only been in the UFC for a little time now, but he's already made a name for himself as one of the most intimidating fighters in the welterweight division. What's crazy is that he doesn't even care who he's fighting next or what weight class it's in. He's always eager to get in there and throw down. And he's not just a one-trick pony either. He's got solid wrestling and BJJ skills, but he's not afraid to stand in the pocket and swing for the fences. I mean, just look at his fight against Gilbert Burns. Chimaev basically said screw the game plan and went all out, trading punches and kicks with one of the top contenders in the division. And guess what? He won! That's the kind of confidence and aggression that makes Chimaev such a force to be reckoned with in the UFC. And finally, here's another beast, Mirko Cro Cop. When it comes to head kicks, the Croatian fighter Mirko Cro Cop is the king. He's got a record of 71 knockouts in his combined combat sports career. That's no small feat. And get this, he's also a former Special Forces operative in his native country, so you know he's got some great skills. But what really sets Cro Cop apart is his stoic demeanor. He's like a silent assassin in the cage. Cro Cop is the embodiment of menace, and you better believe it. Anyway, that's all I had for you today on the most intimidating fighters in UFC history. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.